Chair recognizes Mr. Maloney on his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, when we are dealing with the newsman's privilege and whether or not we reject this bill tonight in its entirety, we are basically going to make one of three decisions. We are either going to go with the law in the United States as it is right now, that the newsman has no privilege under the First Amendment, or we are going to give him an absolute privilege wherein he has to disclose to no one under any circumstances his sources or any information that he received in confidence. The third alternative is to give the press a qualified privilege. So the question is really going to resolve down to one of those three things. The question is, we are having to weigh the public's right to know the news that a newsman wants to print, as opposed to the question of whether a crime has been committed and who committed that crime.
I would point out to you one of the things from Mr. Maloney's own argument. He said the Supreme Court said that the national government and the states could pass their own shield laws, which is what we're attempting to do here. I would also like to point out to you that where you have a privilege which is qualified, you have in reality no privilege at all.
Mr. Allred, now for the second time you have said that a privileged qualified is no privilege at all. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Mr. Allred that voted for that Lobby Control Act just a minute ago, where we qualified a person's ability to come before the legislature and testify or contact his own representative? When we limited an individual's privilege in this state to come here to Austin and ask his member to do something for him? Are you the same person that just qualified the privileges of all the people of Texas?
I don't think it's the same situation at all.
I am trying to point out to you, as a journalist who spent 15 years in the field, during a period of time when journalism was practiced on an objective basis and was not part of the new wave of journalism, which is the wave of participation, or if you will, objectivity, has gone out the window. And we now choose sides and we tell each other how we feel about it. I'm trying to tell you from 15 years of experience, quite frankly, that what we have at the present time is a press that is not infallible. And I am suggesting to you that if we pass this shield law as it exists, staged events such as this, and I can cite some in Texas, staged events such as this would never be revealed to the public and would indeed be accepted as fact by the public, because that is the way they would be presented. I am suggesting that newsmen are not infallible.
I'll stipulate to that. I'll also stipulate that lawyers are not infallible, that state representatives are not infallible.
Mr. Speaker and member clerk will ring the bell. Show Mr. Jones of El Paso voting aye. Show Mr. Allred voting aye. There being 135 ayes and 8 noes, House Bill 10 passes to third reading.